Rand Paul is a member of the Homeland Security Committee and 2016 presidential candidate. His new book is called Taking a Stand, and he's now with us live in Washington. Senator, good morning. Been a long night for you. Appreciate you coming back to America's Newsroom here.
Good morning.
What did you accomplish?
Well, you know, the court has said that this bulk collection of all of our phone records is illegal. From here on out, beginning this week, the government will not collect your phone records in bulk. So I think that's a huge victory.
Okay, well, you heard people like General Hayden just a moment ago, who had a lot to say with Chris Wallace. He also said this. He said, we're more at risk today from internal actors than we have been at any time since 9/11. Are you putting Americans in danger, Senator?
Well, here's the thing is, I actually want more collection of records on terrorists. I just want less collection of innocent Americans. I think we sometimes get distracted by collecting so many records of innocent Americans that we're not spending enough time actually following the potential jihadists in our country. The FBI said just this week they don't have enough help. They don't have enough people to follow the jihadists that are in our country. So here's what I would propose. I would hire 1,000 new FBI agents to track these people. But what I would do is I would quit spending billions and billions of dollars collecting the records of innocent Americans. This is a big rebuke to the president. The president has been committing an illegal program. The court told him to stop. He wouldn't stop. And now Congress is going to tell the president this must end. This is a big victory for the American people.
Well, so you think this is a question of manpower? Is that it? That can solve it?
Manpower and focus. And the other thing that people misunderstand is you can collect records with a traditional constitutional warrant. The difference is you put someone's name on it as opposed to having a generalized warrant that collects everyone's records. This is what we fought the American Revolution over. John Adams said it was the spark that led to the American Revolution was that we were opposed to generalized warrants, scooping up everyone's records. We wanted suspicion to be individualized. And so it's a big blow for freedom this week that we're telling the president no more. The government is no longer going to collect all of our records all the time. So this is a big rebuke to the president, and the president's now going to have to obey the law.
All right, now let's dig a little deeper. I think it was 7 o'clock Eastern time last night when you said this comment.
People here in town think I'm making a huge mistake. Some of them, I think, secretly want there to be an attack on the United States so they can blame it on me.
Some of them, I think, secretly want there to be an attack on the United States. To whom were you referring?
I think sometimes in the heat of battle, hyperbole can get the better of anyone, and that may be the problem there. The point I was trying to make is that I think people do use fear to try to get us to give up our liberty. And this was the whole thing that Benjamin Franklin debated, whether or not we should trade our liberty for security, and sometimes get neither. They say we're safer because of this bulk collection of data, but it turns out that everybody that's objective that has looked at it has said that no episode of terrorism has been prevented, no case has been cracked, and many, even in the intelligence community, are admitting that it's very expensive and really hasn't provided that much useful information.
We've heard that argument. You've expressed that as well. So too have others. But do you take back that statement you just said when I think some secretly want there to be an attack in the United States so they can blame you?
I think sometimes going after people's motives and impugning people's motives is a mistake. And in the heat of battle, I think sometimes hyperbole can get the better of all of us. I think the general idea that people use fear, and I think they do use fear. They act as if we can't collect any records. They were using fear yesterday with the Boston bomber, saying we needed the Patriot Act to look at his phone records. It's completely untrue. The Constitution allows for warrants, and we could have easily gotten a record or a warrant to look at that Boston bomber's records. In fact, I want more of that, not less. So I think we need to have an intelligent debate, and sometimes hyperbole gets the better of us. I think it's the best way to put it.
So are you standing by that or not? I'm just trying to nail that down. Do you retract that comment?
I think by calling it hyperbole, that means that I may well have exaggerated the case.
Okay, and let's move on now.
Yeah.
Because Senator McCain and others think you're just doing this because you want to be president and you want to raise money. To him and others, you would say what?
I would say I've been fighting this fight since I came to public life. I fought the identical fight in 2011. I tried to stop the Patriot Act then. They offered me 2 amendments in 2011, and we came to a compromise. This time I asked for the same thing, 2 amendments, and I was denied amendments. And what we'll find today is that no amendments will be allowed on this on our side of the coin. So I would say that nobody really questions my sincerity with my support and defense of the 4th Amendment and the Bill of Rights. And those who do are just simply, trying to make the debate into a tawdry debate and trying to use personal innuendo, which I think is really beneath all of us, and we ought to have a better debate on the facts.
Britt Hume said this in light of the fact that you are running for president and characterized your fight the following way.
He seems confused about which party he's running in. These stances, either on surveillance or on who's responsible for ISIS, are not going to sit well with, the majority of the Republican electorate. It's just not going to happen.
Not going to sit well. What do you make of that?
I think when you get outside the Beltway pundits and you go to America, you find the opposite. Over 80% of people under 40 think the government's gone too far in collecting our records all of the time. Well over 50% of Republicans believe this. So I think sometimes we get caught up in this Washington atmosphere. But the truth of the matter is the American people think the government shouldn't be collecting their records indiscriminately. I'm going to continue to champion privacy. I would do it whether it was popular or not, because I pledged an oath to defend the Constitution. I will continue to defend the Constitution the best way I know how, but I think the American people are actually with me.
Quickly, Senator, yes or no? The Senate will take this up again tomorrow. Can you stop this now, or is your fight over, at least on the legislative side, for the moment?
Actually, I think we're winning. The president will be rebuked, and the president will no longer be able to illegally collect our records all the time. So I think it's a big victory for privacy.
Rand Paul, thank you for your time out of Washington today. Appreciate it, Senator. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Martha.
More coming up.